This is a video where I introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey Kaplan, and I teach philosophy here at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the kinds of courses that I teach here at UNCG and what I expect or hope students will get out of those courses. So, philosophy is a discipline where we attempt to rigorously and seriously find answers to big, broad, fundamental questions. Questions like, does God exist? Or do I have an immortal soul that lives on after my body dies? These are questions in the philosophy of religion. We offer a philosophy of religion course here at UNCG, and I also have us read and discuss works that deal with these questions in my Introduction to Philosophy course. If, on the other hand, you take a course like Introduction to Ethics, we will talk about questions like which actions are right and which actions are wrong, or questions like, does there exist objective moral law? And if you take a philosophy of law course with me, then we will discuss questions like, what is law? And are immoral laws really laws? Okay, so here's what happens. When we're doing philosophy, we will talk about questions like these, and we will read the works of some very famous historical philosophers and some less famous contemporary philosophers, and their attempts to answer these questions. And when we're trying to answer these questions seriously, what we will be doing is just using logic. We'll just be using our reasoning capabilities to answer these questions. And when we use this sort of logical, argumentative way of thinking, we get good at it. And so, one result of taking a series of philosophy classes is that you get good at analytical reasoning. And what happens as a result of that is that you get good at standardized tests and that sort of thing. Like, there's that chart. Can I show the chart? I don't know if I have the video editing skills to show it, but there's this chart of the cumulative GRE scores. That's a standardized test that you take before going to graduate school, of different students based on their major. And the philosophy students do way, way, way better than everyone else on this standardized test. And maybe the reason for that is that philosophy students answer these really difficult questions or try to answer these really difficult questions using argument and logic and reason and that sort of thing. And so they get very good at that, and then they get very good at standardized tests. Okay, but here's the point that I want to make in this sort of introductory video. When I have my students discuss these questions and try to answer them using rigorously developed arguments and logic and reason and all that sort of stuff, I don't just want my students to get good at using reason to try to answer questions like these. I want my students to actually answer them. I want them to leave my courses with a better developed answer to a question like, is there objective morality? And so we're going to read the work of various philosophers who are themselves trying to answer these questions, and then you as a student in one of my courses, or really in any philosophy course, you as a student, you're going to answer these questions for yourself using valid arguments and real rigorous logic and reasoning and that sort of thing. And what I want you to take away from those classes is not just better argumentative skills, but actual answers to the big fundamental questions that there are.